it's Kimberly Jolly from the Fat Quarter Shop, and on this episode of AGF Stitched, we're going to be making the Filigree pattern. It's a free pattern that you can download on our free pattern page at Fat Quarter Shop. This block is super complicated, but we have simplified this quilt so it is going to be a breeze, and I've got lots of tips and tricks. So let's get started. So our first step is going to be to take all of your fabric C-squares and cut on the diagonal twice. You're going to want to just be really careful. I like to use a rotating mat so my fabrics do not shift. And you're going to want to get a really nice accurate cut on this. So on this yellow, you're going to make 44. With your blueprint, you're going to make 48. 44 of your dots. 40 of your pluses. 40 of your pink daisies. And 40 of your green dots. So just really take your time with this step so that you get these cuts right in the center. That's going to really make your piecing easier on your next step. Now you're going to take your fabric B rectangles and two matching fabric C triangles, and we're going to sew these together. So these edges on your yellow triangles right here, those are bias, and they're going to really move around. So what you want to do is pin. I'm going to pin 3 times, and it's really going to help before you sew. Art Gallery fabric is really nice and has a really nice thread count, and so it is going to move around more than your stiffer coarse fabric because it's so nice and soft. What you want to do here is with your sewing machine, start on the end, not where the tip is but the end, sew all the way down, and then you're going to repeat on the other side. So this becomes your outer filigree unit. And the beauty of this pattern is we have done all the pressing for you so that everything is going to nest. So pay very careful attention to which way you're going to press each of these units, and then when your block comes together, everything is going to nest and you don't have to mess with open seams. On this step, you're going to make 22, 24, 22, 20, 20, and 20. So now we're going to make our inner filigree unit, and these are super simple. You've made pieces like this before. You're just going to use 2 fabric A rectangles and a fabric D square, and again, pay close attention to the direction of your pressing so that everything nests later. And you're going to make 32 with this colorway, 12, 10, and 10. So to make your filigree unit, you're going to put 2 matching outer units and an inner unit. Just follow your diagram so you know how many to make. You're just going to sew these together with a 1/4 inch seam, and again, watch your pressing arrows. It's going to look like this, and now let's go trim it. So now we're going to trim our unit, and I really like this because this is going to give you a perfect block later. So what I like to do is just find my center on all 4 corners by just gently finger pressing. You're going to use a Creative Grid 7.5 inch square ruler, and I do really think you need this ruler. Sometimes you can just wing it, but on this block I don't think that would work. You're going to really need the square up ruler. So the first thing I'm going to do is on this Creative Grid ruler there is a white line, and that is going to go, it's going to intersect your center square. But then I'm also, as a double check, going to make sure that these are lining up with the creases I made, just to make sure that we're really getting this nice and square and it's looking like it's lining up. So we're going to trim it. And I like the rotating mat because your block, your block or unit you're cutting, it doesn't shift, and it gives you, again, a perfect unit. Now you'll just repeat the same techniques. You're going to make 11, 12, 11, 10, 10, and 10. Now let's move on to block assembly. Now this is where it kind of gets tricky. You have to put your blocks together. You're going to make 6, 5, and 5. But what you really want to make sure is all your fabric is in the right place and that the blue is making an X and the white is making a circle. So you kind of want to lay it all out. Just be really careful so you don't have to seam rip, because if you're not careful, you're going to be seam ripping a ton of it, and don't ask me how I know. Now we're going to assemble our quilt center. Each row has 4 blocks. Make 4 rows. Assemble your rows and press. And ta-da! Your quilt is complete. I love how when you put all the blocks together, you get a nice effect and lots of other blocks form, and it just looks wonderful with the Wonderful Things collection and the denim. They mix so wonderfully together. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to the Fat Quarter Shop YouTube channel so you can see the next episode of AGF Stitched. See you next time.